I do want to applaud Minnesota United's tweet, though. Pink Phony Club, come on, Chapel Roan. David Beckham said, show a little respect, be elegant in triumph. Jose, should he get lost?
Come on, David Beckham. It's part of the sport, you know, like have some fun with it. Yeah, it is.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine by me. It's part of el folklore, right?
Right.
Especially in South America, like this happened like every single day. Like the chants, that's what soccer is all about. I understand David Beckham is from a different culture, from England. You know, they're so uptight. That's fine. But come on, have some fun.
They have banter, though.
Yeah. So it's not that it was one post and he makes a comment. You're like, oh, he was ruffled by it. Like his feathers are, you know, got caught there.
You're seeing the tifo?
But it was another one. It's the tifo as well, and David Beckham responding to the tifo as well. 2 separate times, 2 Instagram posts. They got underneath his skin. And why are they getting underneath his skin? Because teams are figuring Inter Miami out. That is 4 defeats in the last 5 games. That is David Beckham's baby. That is what David Beckham has waited for to build this franchise, going down the drain. Now, forgive me when I say down the drain, because they've done a lot of good things, but he's starting to realize teams have figured Inter Miami out. If you are disciplined, if you are physical, if you have athleticism in transition, and if you are good on set pieces, you can hurt Inter Miami, because Inter Miami is many things, but they don't have fresh legs and they don't have a lot of quality when it comes to keeping up with teams with pace. This has been figured out from Atlanta United in the postseason to Rayados de Monterrey in CONCACAF Champions Cup to LAFC at times in the CONCACAF Champions Cup to Vancouver, who made them look juvenile. And what is worse for David Beckham is he is seeing his prized asset, because Lionel Messi is an asset, get frustrated.
Right.
Be frustrated and start lashing out, if you will. We saw it last week, and we're seeing his stars like Sergio Busquets tell DAZN in Spain, we're not good enough to compete in the Club World Cup. So he's seen all his star players speaking out, lashing out, and he's like, you know what? Not you too, Minnesota United. Not now. Nope, I'm not taking this. So it's just, the frustrations are boiling over.
Yeah, which, listen, David Beckham is human. We understand if it's boiling over, you want to lash out. But at the end of the day, this is something that maybe was expected from Inter Miami. Somebody was going to figure out the formula. But Javier Mascherano has a different opinion. Here's what he had to say about Minnesota United. He said, when we analyzed the game, I think Columbus outplayed us, and we still won. But both against Dallas and today, I don't think we were outplayed. Jose, what do you think?
I mean, I understand the deeper point. Sometimes you can be the better team and still lose the game. Yeah. We actually had this argument with Eric in Spanish. I don't want to relive the moment, but, you know, it can happen in football. Like, no one questioned the scores, right?
Yeah.
Minnesota won 4-1. But then when you look at the way the game outfall, you can say maybe Inter Miami didn't deserve to lose, but at the end of the day, it's about goals. And I don't understand why David Beckham. I don't get why David Beckham is getting so frustrated so early in the season. But Inter Miami, it's gonna be measured by the way they perform in the playoffs. Let's look at last season, for example. They established a record of points in the regular season. They won the Supporter Shield, but in crunch time, in the playoffs, they got eliminated by Atlanta United in a 3-game series. So David Beckham, chill out. At the end of the day, if they win the MLS Cup, it's going to be a success. If they don't, it's going to be a failure. That is how we measure this team.
All right, Michael Boxall on what Julian Gressel actually said about Inter Miami, saying, quote, today in the locker room, Julian Gressel said, they will be good for 30 minutes, and after that, we'll get a chance. We scored in the 32nd, so he was spot on.
Remind me again where Julian Gressel played before Minnesota United a few days ago.
Inter Miami.
Inter Miami. So he knows them pretty well. They've been figured out, and I think that speaks to the frustration that Beckham is now facing and that Lionel Messi has shown us in recent weeks. This is a team that need legs. This is a team that physically isn't fit enough to play, if Major League Soccer is anything, a physical league. They may lack tactically, technically deficient in certain things, but physically, one of the top leagues in the world, physically. This team knew exactly what they were getting into. Now, I will go back to Mascherano. 4-1, we weren't outplayed. Inter Miami pretend to be a big team in Major League Soccer. Big teams around the world, if they are beat 4-1, regardless of their circumstance, and go publicly to the press and say this, the coach would be slaughtered in the press. Slaughtered. In the States, in Major League Soccer in Canada, the press isn't, I don't want to say sophisticated, but to that level yet. But this is the first
Except
time.
for Football America.
Except for football. It's the first time and probably only time
Welcome.
that they are feeling the heat. And I don't think they're feeling the heat from their public. I don't think they're feeling the heat from the press. I think they're feeling the heat from management. I think management has made it known that it's not good enough. And I think they are starting to say, well, help us out because this is on you too.
I agree that they need fresh legs, but they also need a better coach, Chris. A lot of people were angry at Tata Martino. I understand. I'm not going to question the why,
Right.
but you cannot compare Mascherano with Tata Martino.
No.
Mascherano, I mean, he's starting his career. He got this chance clearly because, he
Has
knows a
been in high
guy.
places.
He knows
Yeah.
a guy named Leo Messi, right? When he was given the chance to coach the Argentinian youth, the under 20, it was an epic failure. And what did he get in rewards? Now he's coaching Inter Miami. He lacks experience. He's learning. It's a long process. But Tata Martino was a better coach than Javier Mascherano.
Yeah.
And Tata Martino and MLS was a happy marriage. It makes sense to have him.
Well, he won with
Miami
Atlanta.
was-
Right, for Miami. But it makes a lot more sense when we're talking about Tata Martino and MLS, a league that he knows well, a league that he has won with Atlanta United. And he was very, very respected.
Of course. I'm not saying he wasn't. Just saying it didn't end well.
Well, I said the comment for a reason, is what I'm saying. But it seems like it's going to be a long season for Inter Miami, for Javier Mascherano. I don't want to say should he end the season, but maybe this break that's coming up seems like perfect time to make some important changes, at least to help out the veterans on the Inter Miami team. But I'm sure Lionel Messi will be looking at his former team, Barcelona, this coming Thursday. Big match against Espanyol, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+.